Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on the time you're listening to this. Welcome back to another episode of Med Nation with your, of course, favorite podiatrist and host, Dr.
Lanier
and Dr. Farnan with Cutting Edge. Our topic today, drum roll please, how to start and sustain a medical practice as well as entrepreneurship in medicine. I mean, those two words do not go together, in case people wanted to know. And so please, we welcome Dr. Sam here. Please introduce yourself and give us some background, Dr. Sam.
Oh, hi, I'm Dr. Steve Samudrala. I'm medical director and founder of America's Family Doctors. We opened in 2002. We have offices in Brentwood, Smyrna, and Spring Hill, and on afdclinics.com, where we, of course, do our virtual visits and televisits. Overall, we do primary care, family medicine for all ages. Overall, life's been pretty good. Nothing is easy, but, we just have to always be adaptable and flexible.
Absolutely. So what inspired you to own your own clinic?
Probably very similar to you. When I first started, I was looking for jobs in the Nashville area, but then pretty much everything had non-competes.
Right.
We also wanted to start computerized from day one. And back then, there were no real computerized offices when I was looking in 2001. And a lot of times practices would say, well, if you were to join us, you can help us get computerized. Well, it's easier actually just to start computerized than to convert computer to computerized. So that was the big thing. Our goal is to be as high tech and high touch as possible. And it's just fun, because it's like essentially our own little lemonade stand where the only constant in life is going to be change, how we adapt with times. I'd say one big boon for private practices has been COVID, just because a lot of the big entities really had a hard time adapting to COVID, whereas we were open every single day. We never shut down during COVID. We were able to adapt to televisits in addition to in-person visits, and we've been able to continue that, even as COVID has improved.
So in going about technology, how did you learn the business and website skills you need to succeed?
It's kind of like how we all learned how to raise kids, right? I mean, you just have kids and do the best you can. I mean, you could look for a book called Parenting 101,
Right.
And what's in the book generally doesn't exactly resemble what's in real life, right?
And from kid to kid, every kid is different. So,
Yes, that's right. And, always nervous in a healthy way definitely motivates us to get up every morning. My wife was a big inspiration for me to open her own practice, because she knows that I'm always questioning, well, why are we doing it this way? Why are we doing that way? And when I was a resident, when I start questioning things a lot, they were very quick to tell me you're resident. You don't question things.
Right.
And I think that's a good thing. I'm a big believer of autonomy, and that I tell our providers and staff, if we're not messing up here and there, that means we're not trying hard enough, because of course, patient care and safety always comes first, but I'm really proud of for both of you for going out of your way to do your podcast. Because it's special. It really is.
And it's work. It's not just fun. Thank you for recognizing that. But I have a question. You said you wanted to do computerized office. Was that something you were introduced in residency, and also second question to that, did you open your clinic right out of residency?
I did.
Okay.
So I was in University of Mississippi. And when I was actually back then, 2001, my wife told me, she's from Huntsville, Alabama, and I'm from Michigan, but I was in my residency at University of Mississippi, and she told me that we should live in Brentwood or Brentwood. So of course I chose Brentwood, and good schools, and good diversity of for our family, and so on. So when I was looking for jobs, even at places like even the nonprofit clinics and so on, back then 2001 they had pretty stringent non-competes. Some of them were even 50 miles. At that point in time, decided to go ahead and open our own, and so we did.
So how did you expand all those locations? I want to know about your growth in business?
I mean, we have Brentwood, Smyrna, Spring Hill, and Wellness, but I was like you in that we grew fast, but then we just kind of stabilized because it's not based on how many offices you have. Eventually, it's based on your margin, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Very true.
There's just so much work, and especially back then, if you want to do billing in-house and have good billing staff and do good accounting and good credentialing and all that kind of stuff, you could try to outsource it, but then which we did in the beginning, but generally it's not as good as if you do it on your own, because they're interested in their 5% or so on, but in this case that we're interested in our 100%. And so if you have all the infrastructure and the people for that, then you have to have the volume and some space. So then we opened Spring Hill, and then it's a lot of, as you know, it's a lot of time, money, and energy to open an office. So we opened a clinic in Murfreesboro called Get Well Clinic. I did that with partners, and then and that was kind of an NP clinic in a strip mall, and it's still there. But then they wanted to keep expanding, and then I kind of realized that it seems to be where doctors and NPs and PAs working together. Because I mean, a lot of times with NPs or PAs, I mean, by definition, they're physician assistants. I mean, a lot of them, including our physician assistant who's been with us in Brentwood, Rebecca Summers, for like, I think, 15 years or so.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she got into medical school. I mean, I mean, a lot of them are really bright, but they chose to be a physician assistant so that so they don't have to have all the responsibilities of being the doctor. And so, they want to work with us and we want to work with them. And so that way, if we want to travel or have a life, you're working with a good team of people.
Absolutely.
And so we opened in what's it called? Oh yeah. So then they bought me out from that. And then we opened our Spring Hill office. And that one was another existing office that we kind of essentially just took over, and it was an office that we were kind of creating from the ground up, but we didn't sign the actual lease for it because, again, it's very expensive. But the build out is really the big challenge. But if somebody's already done the build out and it's a good location, a good suite, and it has some existing patients, then then it's a lot easier to jump in and take over. I mean, if we were to grow again, a lot of it is I was growing when my kids were young, and then eventually as they get older, their bills become higher, right? And so I had to, instead of investing in opening offices, then I invested in paying Vanderbilt tuition. Yeah. I mean, I would like to expand as long as it doesn't take me too much more time, money, energy, or stress, or workers.
No, you're right. I mean, that was my next question. It's funny because I was going to ask you, what's your 5-year plan?
Yeah, I mean, if something just falls in kind of more into our lap, we're definitely open to it. But also the margins are a lot lower now than they used to be. I look at a lot of our reimbursements. Some of our reimbursements were higher. We're in our 20th year of practice. Was higher 20 years ago than they are now. Right. And then a lot of it is now we're more quality-based care. So if it's just, office visits, codes, then that just will, keep the lights on and, pay for the air conditioning, right? But it doesn't pay for everything else. And so our business plan, I call it the Bubba Gump Shrimp business plan, because the big, huge boats couldn't handle it and the little ones couldn't handle it, but they had like a right size, mid-size one. And then if you're able to kind of weather some of the storms, then like in this case, it's a little bit different than 2008. Because 2008 was rough because there was people opening clinics everywhere and we were going into a recession, right? But now, nobody's opening clinics.
No.
Nobody.
No.
Except for like all the care nows and stuff like that. They're opening urgent cares all over the spot. But as far as primary care,
But is that affecting you?
It does. Yeah. We used to do a lot walk-in urgent care, but
acute care. Yeah.
Yeah, we still do for kind of more our own patients. But in a way, it's also made it easier for us too, because we can still take care of our patients, but at least, the goal is to keep them out of the ER if at all possible. There is a lot of things that have affected us over the years. These walk-in urgent cares, primary care, I mean, I think the hospitals will try to open, but still there seems to be a need. But nobody seems to want to open primary care because it's a lot of time, money, work, and margins are very low. So the teledocs or free teledoc service has affected us. Then these on-site clinics affected us too until COVID hit. And then a lot of these on-site clinics have kind of struggled just because nobody's going to work anymore. Right. And so what's the point of the on-site clinic? So, but we're still kind of hopefully that home for our patients, even through COVID, through recessions. I mean, ideally, knock on wood, we'll still stay here.
Oh yeah, I have seen your reviews. You guys are loved by your patients and the community. I want to talk in depth about how we open the practice,
sure.
For physicians out there, out of residency, if they all want to open theirs. What are the steps? So for me, it was the insurance. I didn't know how long it would take me to be under insurances. I didn't get paid for the first 8 months after I opened my clinic.
I mean, your case, you're also lucky too because your husband had an income, right? Yeah, exactly. And for me, I didn't have that, right. And so I had to. My wife, she worked when I was a resident, but then when we started, she kind of worked with me. Back then, there were income guarantees through the hospitals, so I was able to get one through Southern Hills TriStar.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and
that's
so
great.
That helped us kind of get started and helped us. Buy a house, because in order to buy a house, you can't just, go to the bank and say, here's my business plan. I should do quite well. Can I buy a house?
So elaborate on income guarantee from the hospital, because that's news to us. There's nothing like that.
I mean, prior to 2001, I think, I don't even know very few people if they even do that much anymore, because back then, now they're all into employing, physicians, right? But way back when, they really didn't want to employ physicians. I mean, I think they'll still do income guarantees if you're like going to Winchester or Tullahoma or a small town, and they don't have an existing practice. But I mean, I know like HCA, TriStar, or so on, they would have this Medline or something like that, where they would refer patients to us. But then eventually, I mean, a lot of them will be. I guess like Stonecrest, for example, if you have private insurance, they may refer to their own, obviously, because they want to kind of feed their own. Mm-hmm. But if they have 10 care Medicaid, well, they don't take 10 care Medicaid, so
they'll send them to you.
Yeah. I mean, even Vanderbilt does,
right.
And Vanderbilt is a nonprofit, right. And they don't take 10 care for adults. So, right. So I mean, they went from kind of wanting to help support, to support us, to almost kind of essentially competing with us, Right. I mean, they still like us, I guess, because we still refer patients to them. Yeah. But I mean, in a lot of times when you talk to the hospitals, I mean, they'll say that first they wanted to promote private practice, but then the income guarantees, a lot of them times it didn't work out, mm-hmm. where they would give an income guarantee and the practice didn't make it per se, or they would, if you're an existing practice and you want to grow, that they may give you an income guarantee, but then a lot of existing practices didn't want to grow either. So then they know that they have to have primary care and they have to have doctors in the community mm-hmm. to fund the hospital per se too. So yeah, this one was Southern Hills. Stonecrest, we had income guarantee with Stonecrest, and then Spring Hill we had an income guarantee with Williamson Medical Center, which just makes us feel better, stronger, and so on. I mean, we talked to Stonecrest about income guarantee for Murfreesboro, but then this was a few years ago, but there was like no doctors, and actually one time they were trying to recruit, and they actually called me, which was pretty funny. So I think that there's a private practice that's looking to open in Murfreesboro, and would you be interested? I said, that's me.
That's funny.
That's funny. So yeah, and I understand. There's just no, and now even a lot of the hospitalists and so on, they're recruiting NPs too. And also there's just no money. I mean, there's not only no doctors, there's just no money because 3 doctors and 6 NPPAs. Even that is just, it's hard, right? I mean, there's not enough for 9 doctors, and there's no doctors that exist. So you have to have that right balance. Yeah. So I mean, I think it just makes sense. And
how long did it took you to get enough patients that you're breaking even? This is, to discuss for if somebody wants to open a clinic, they need to know, the groundwork you need to put on for you to start making money.
Yeah. I mean, traditionally, I guess, initially it was probably, 10, and then eventually went to 10 patients a day. Then as overhead and everything went up, it's like 15. Now it's getting closer to 20, right? Yeah.
He's like 30, 45 to actually live.
I know.
So how long did it take you to get those patients a day? Like a year? 6 months?
Not too long, really. Yeah. Because, we had an innovation that others didn't have back then. We had a website. Nobody else had websites. You're surprising. And that's why we don't even have to pay much money for, or we don't even pay any money for SEO because, I called Google Business myself and talked to them, and they said whether I give them, pay them $50 or $60 a month. I mean, they're Google, they have billions of dollars, or even if I pay $500 a month, they have billions of dollars. That's not their issue. Their issue is what you guys are doing is content. They said healthcare is like one of the most searched keywords in Google, yet most doctors have a website, but most of them just stink and they're static and they don't change and they don't have anything on it. They'll have broken links and so on. And they want people like you. And we have, if you go to afdclinics.com and scroll all the way in the bottom, click on AFD TV, we did a bunch of videos with my daughters, and Sadia did it, my fellow Dr. Sadia Dar and her daughter, Zoya and so on, when their kids were young, because they were all excited. They wrote, produced, all that kind of stuff, and it was fun. And then, but now mine are bigger, and I don't like hearing myself.
I want to talk to you all day because you're very knowledgeable. I'm sure our listeners would love to hear you talk as well. But one of the questions that I have is, doctors, we have no business education and we lack being an entrepreneur. People actually say we don't make good entrepreneurs. What do you say to that?
I mean, it's, so when I was a resident, I was nervous, right? And then there's these PhD psychologists in our family medicine department at University of Mississippi. They said to me, Steve, how many things have you failed in your life? Have you failed in tests, or have you failed in school? And, I've had bad grades and I fall, but then I generally get up. And then they said, well, what makes you think this would be any different? I'm like, oh, that's a good point. So a lot of it is just having faith in yourself. And so I know when I started my practice, my parents were very nervous. And I'd say, my parents also encouraged me a lot to do this because they came from India, and they would tell us that if we don't make it, and my sister and I were born here, right? If we don't make it here, we're going to have to pack up and go back to India. And I'm like, no, we're American. No, we're going to figure it out, but they didn't have, their parents are from, villages back in India. So they didn't have that financial backing. Growing up in Michigan, our bank that we grew up with is NBD, National Bank of Detroit, which has been sold and name changed so many times, but we call it NBD, National Bank of Dad. So, and when I asked, I was with AmSouth, the relationship people, and then of course they sold to Regions, and every time I emailed them, their email wouldn't work because people kept leaving. And so I said, can I get a loan to open my practice? And my dad, could he co-sign it? And then they're like, well, if your dad puts in, say, 100,000, we with the CD that pays them 3%, then we will loan his money to you at 7%. There's no loan.
That's crazy. There's no loan.
There
You're
was no
making
loan.
money out of your dad's investment.
Yeah. There's no loan. There was no way for him to co-sign a loan except but they said, but you could buy a house, and so we did, and then we took the equity. This was after 2001, after 9/11, and so we got our house for I guess it was ended up being below appraisal, So then we were able to take the extra equity, and put that into our practice.
Yeah.
So and then credit cards, and just, we didn't pay interest, but you can get that and then switch it. So it's a little bit of that credit card game, and then the income guarantee, and then eventually that was it. Then we just kind of conservative cash flowed, and then when we were cash flowing positive, then back then, my kids were, I showed you the photo of my daughter when, she was a baby. She doesn't know what does she need except diapers and toys and stuff like that. So, so then we took that towards opening Smyrna. Then as we were paying that off, and by that time we had a credit line, so as soon as we had a cash flow, then we had a credit line, and then we could finance growing, and then after a while, you kind of get tired of having your credit line. You'd rather just save money, and then kind of what we did. But I'm still, there is that, careful, there's that concern where Walgreens quote belief is that if you're not growing, you're dying, right? And a lot of times, there is growth to be made without just bricks and mortars all the time, right? I think the COVID's been rough, but the blessing for medicine is that we are allowed televisits now, which has been, it's a lot of times, I believe it's a renaissance in medicine, especially for private practice, because I know you guys do home visits also. Do y'all do televisits?
Yeah, we do. There is a little kind of gray area with podiatry. They were insurance companies were much more adaptive to that during the COVID time. But now I think even within the podiatry realm, and it's hard for podiatry, right? Because we're such a specialized niche. There's only certain types of pathologies we could do via televisit. The rest, I have to lay hands on your ankle, right?
Yeah.
If you fell down some stairs and I televisit you, I'm like, hey, yeah, you fell down some stairs. Go to an urgent care or come to my office and I'll meet you there. But, going back to the insurance, reimbursements are a little finicky with telehealth with podiatry now. But like you said, COVID has, with blessing with primary care and allowing that. And there is some instincts where we do televisit within the podiatry realm for little things that we can do, dermatological things that hopefully, knock on wood, get paid for.
Post-op visits, perinicia.
I was going to say planner's wards, perinicia follow visits, right? Things like that.
Yeah.
But you're absolutely right. It has opened up kind of a Pandora's box of people being able to, and I've seen a lot of different providers being able to do that, where just on their website, these folks can come in and say, hey, my toes read what we do, and you can actually determine that via televisit and put them in the right channel, right? So it's been a blessing. But telehealth's kind of a gray area within the podiatry world right now.
Yeah.
In terms of reimbursements.
Oh, yeah, that's true. And
so usually as we're closing, we talk about puns.
Okay, sure.
Do you have any primary care puns or business one that you can share with us?
Oh.
Or it could be a daily mantra. It doesn't necessarily have to be a funny joke or a pun or a run on words. It could be a daily mantra that you wake up in the morning and you say, get ready for the day for success, anything like that.
Oh, yeah. Well, what's it called? One thing, we're all, like doctorpreneurs, right? And so the doctorpreneurs, the kind of the joke on it is that we can pick any. We have a lot of freedom. We can pick any 60 hours of the week we want to work.
That is true, and we're going to coin doctorpreneurs. By the way, there's going to be a trademark next to that, so you will get that. I love that term, doctorpreneurs.
Yeah. Well, it's important because even you're, like everyone, regardless of what percent, whether you have ownership on paper or not, everyone wants to have autonomy, and the saying is brain is a terrible thing to waste. We would rather have you try things. You could do these podcasts, which everyone just loves and you can learn from, or you could do some like TikTok videos, which may be a little racy,
We do a little bit of all, by the way, everybody. But don't worry, folks. I keep my shirt on. Okay. The shirt stays on, everybody. We keep them PG here.
Well,
Okay.
Dr. Sam, thank you so much for taking your time to
Yeah.
talk with us. This has been a great educational podcast.
Oh,
Yeah,
of course. Well,
yes.
happy to anytime.
Yes,
Yeah.
so thank you, Dr. Sam, again, and I'm sure everyone can take value from that. And as our subscribers have been amazing, I'm sure you'll get questions that we'll probably have to have a follow-up with you here eventually over time, because we always have people asking questions, and we'll ask you those as we get those. So everybody...
If anyone questions, I mean, of course, on our website, afdclinics.com, you can click on my name and it has my email, or it's drsam@afdclinics.com. But I'm a big fan of helping other future doctorpreneurs and so on start. We've helped a lot of people over the years who started practices. It's just to know that it's possible,
Right.
and to have kind of like a cheerleader at your side,
Yeah.
that it's possible. Not easy, but it's possible. And I mean, even for me to find, mentors, right? Because I was trying to find a mentor of somebody who had a computerized medical practice, who had multiple locations with, MDs, NPs, PAs, open 7 days a week, who does appointments and walk-ins, and I couldn't find anyone.
Yeah, I was going to say, you would be the only person I know that actually checks all those boxes.
And that was 20 years ago,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
And to this day and age, you're the only one that still checks those boxes, FYI. I don't think I've ever met anybody, within this even tri-state area, that does what you do.
But there are out there, and that trend is coming out. There's a term for it now.
Right.
Patient-centered medical home, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I love that. Since we have met you, you have helped us grow our business as well. We're sharing a same HR company now.
Oh,
because of
good.
you.
Yeah.
And also Hilo, you're a big advocate of it, and because of you, we are trying to do as well. So thank you for that.
Oh, appreciate it. That's the least I could do. There's so much. We're just warming up. There's so much we can do. It's pretty exciting.
Well, wonderful. So, doctorpreneurs out there, non-doctorpreneurs, the idea is just jump into starting a new business. Have those cojones. Do it, because it'll all work itself out. We always appreciate such great conversation with you. To our subscribers, thank you for listening to another wonderful edition of Med Nation. Please subscribe. We'll be over Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Like and subscribe, folks. We love you. Have a good week, and see you next week.
See you next week.